Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In the previous video, we have created the micro-frontend architecture in Flutter by splitting the app into different modules. In this video, we will implement Riverpod state management and integrate a login API. We will see how to manage the state across modules, also handle the API call properly, and we will follow the clean architecture and scalable. If you have not watched part 1, check it first. I have added the link into the description. We have already created separate modules like login, dashboard, profile, setting and the core. So today we will focus on Riverpod plus login API integration. So let me show you first what we have done in the previous video. So in the previous video we have created these 4 modules like core, dashboard, login, profile and setting. So core I have created so that we can share the data across different modules, like dashboard is a screen and login we can see here, and also same goes for profile and setting screen. So in the previous video there was one issue I was facing, like suppose I am going to the dashboard screen after login. So let me enter the mobile number and password. So you can see now I am on the dashboard screen, and if I do the hot reload, so it is going to the login screen. Okay, so this one is the issue. So go to main.dart of the main project, and after that cut this router part from here and move this inside the app router. Okay, and it was because it was there in the build method, so it was getting build again and again. It was sending to the initial route. Okay, so let's begin with the writing the API calls for login. Let me show you which API. So this one is the API we are going to integrate in our project using Riverpod and HTTP package. So going to the core folder. Okay, create a network folder inside this, and after that inside the network folder we will be writing API calls and exception handling. Also we will add the constant file. Okay, so let me show you. So I will be creating 4 different files. So before doing that, let us add the package inside my YML. So we need here, so go to the Chrome and search for Flutter Riverpod. Go to installation and after that copy this dependency and paste here. Same go for HTTP. Go to installation, copy the dependency and paste here. After doing that, click on this download button. Okay, so that's all. Package is added in our project. So inside the network folder we will create 4 different files. One will be my app constant, or we can name that API constant. Okay, other will be my API exceptions to handle the exceptions. Then we will be having one API client, and one we will have API client provider. Okay, so let us start with the API constant file. So create a class with the name API constant and also create one constructor. So we will add the base URL here and login endpoint. So create a constant string base URL is equal to, and go to Postman, copy the base URL and paste here. One more thing you can do, this is the constant, so add constant, and the other thing we can do is we can make it static, so that we can directly paste through the class name dot base URL. Okay, so this is the base URL. Copy this, paste, and change the name to login endpoint. After doing that, let us copy the endpoint API/login. Okay, copy. Okay, so we are done with creating the API constants. Okay, so after that we will be creating API client. So inside my API client, let us create a class API client, and let us import the package http. Import package package http, and after that http dot us http. Okay, now we will create a constructor API client, and we will create one variable for client http dot client and client, and we will add this inside my constructor, this dot client. So after doing that, we will create one method like for login API, and this is the post API call. Okay, so we will write the structure for post API call. So post. So what my API required? The first thing, every post API has the body, then the endpoint, and the base URL. Okay, also some of the API, which post API required authentication token too. So here for login we don't have, but we will create the structure so that it can be used whenever it is required. Okay, so first of all we will add string URL comma, and we will keep something required, which is my body. So body will be the required parameter, and this will be map of string comma dynamic, and the other thing will be map of string comma string. Let us zoom out. Okay, so this will be my header. So we are done with that. Now we will write the API call like final response is equal to await client dot post. So when we are adding the await, so we need to unsync. So we have added a sync for a function. After that we will pass all the parameters here. The first one is URL, so URI dot pass, and inside which we will pass the URL. Other thing is header. So inside the header we required one thing, which is content type colon application / JSON. So header, and the next is our header parameters. Okay, and the next is body. So for body we require JSON encoder, and inside this we will pass my body, not encoder, JSON encode. So let us import, press control dot, so the J will be in small letter. Okay, so we have added. After that you can check here, one import is added, which is Dart convert. Okay, Okay, so what this will do, this will go to the API call, and after that we will be getting the response. After getting the response, we will return. Let us create one more function to handle the response. Okay, and inside which we will pass the response. Okay, so now if response dot status code is equal to 200 or is greater than equal to 200, and response dot status code is less than 200, not less than 300, not 200, 300. Okay, so we will return, and after doing decode, so JSON decode response dot body, and we will typecast as map of string comma dynamic, else we will throw an exception. Okay, so we will throw an exception. So let us create the exception class. So we have created already one exception file, and we will be adding here. Okay, so let us name that exception. This will take two things. The first thing will be the message, and the other thing will be status code. So final string message, and the other will be final int status code. Now create a app exception inside which we will be adding both the things. Required this dot message and required this dot status code. Also extend this class with exception exception. Exception. Okay, we have added. After that, what the error? Let us read the error. API exception cannot extend because exception is only factor constructor. Okay, this is a interface. Okay, so let us implement this. Implements. Okay, so the error went, and also we will add one override function. I will show that. So when I go to the exception or API exception, okay, it is not visible here. Okay, so let us create toString. Okay, now you can see I got the ready-made code, and after that we will return the same line. So copy this line and paste here. Just remove required and name here message and $message. Remove this and do same for status code. Okay, so we can get the error message from here too. After that, go to the API client, and now we can throw that exception. So API exception response dot body, and the status code will be response dot status code. Okay, so click on the handle response and click on this bulb. After that, add return type. Do same for post. Click on this bulb, add return type. Okay, so we are almost done with the API client, API exception, and API constant. Okay, now let's go for the another file, which is my API client provider. So inside the API client provider, we will be adding our provider. Okay, so let us create one provider. Final API client under is equal to provider, and we have added the Flutter Riverpod, so you can see the import on the top. After that, the provider required one reference, so we will add that ref, and we have to return my API client. So it required the API client required http.client. So let us copy this line and paste here. After that, http.client. Okay, so we are done with the creating the API client provider. Also, when you are adding the Riverpod, we need one more thing to do inside my main project. Wrap the my app with the provider scope, but I have not added any dependencies for Riverpod. So what we will do, we will go to core space.yml, copy Flutter Riverpod, and we will paste here. Okay, after doing that, click on this download button. Okay, now go to main.dart and click on control dot or command dot for Mac and wrap with the visit and name this provider scope. So after doing this provider scope, you can see that on the top Flutter Riverpod is added. So we are done with the setup for Riverpod, and the network layer is ready. Now we have to write the API, means we have to integrate, or we can say that we have to call that login API in my login screen. Okay, so also let us do one more thing. So there are 4 different files, so we have to import all the files whenever we write the API call. So better we will add inside my code.export all the imports here, so that only one file we have to import. So export is a keyword using which we can add all the imports, and so that only code.dart you have to import in anywhere if it is required. Okay, so modules, or what we can do one thing, we can go here to copy that. You can write API client, copy this line. Okay, copy this line or cut this line, go to core and paste here for one example, and after that just copy these imports and paste here. So we are done with the API client. Okay, now you can duplicate and change the name. Network slash API client, we are done with API client provider. Then network slash API constant, network slash API exception. Okay, so we have added all the four, 1 2 3 4, all the 4 imports here. Okay, using the export keyword. So I will show that how it's work. Okay, we are getting an error inside my test, so it is not necessary. We will comment this. Okay, so we are done with that. Now we will add that Flutter Riverpod inside my login screen also, because we have to integrate there, right? So let us copy Flutter Riverpod, go to login, and inside my login go to postbase.yml and add the dependency here. Okay, not here, you can add there too, but I have added already Go router, so add below. So we are done with adding the Riverpod inside my login. Okay, so here also we will follow the folder structure for the login. So let us start with the folder structure. The first one will be core, then we will be having data. Also we will have one presentation layer, presentation, and inside my presentation I will have two folders. One will be my providers and other will be screens. Okay, let's rename this login.dart to login screen. Login screen.dart. Okay, so I have a rename and move this inside my screen folder. Okay, so we have added a screen inside my screen folder. Okay, we are getting few errors, so let's go check that. So now it is presentation screen.dart. What is the error? Login screen is not there. Okay, why? Okay, URI does not exist. Let us comment and import again. Okay, so we have added. Now go to the data folder, and also inside data folder we will have three more folders. One will be for my models class, next will be sources, and the other will be repository. Okay, we are done with all the three folders. Let us create the model for my response. So copy response from the postman, go to Google and search for JSON to Dart. Go to this website, paste the response here and name your model name. So login response. After click on generate Dart and it will generate the model class. Copy this, go to the VS Code and inside the models create login response.dart and paste your code here. Okay, so we are done with these two. After that we will create auth remote source. Inside my source folder, auth remote. Okay, so let us name that auth remote source. Okay, why we are getting this error? Okay, I will restart the application so it will go. Do we have anywhere else error? No. Okay, so inside this we will add my API client because I need that. API client, final API client, so that we can take the client to the constructor. Okay, so that auth repository source, auth remote source. Okay, this dot API client. So let us write the login function which will take two things. Okay, so first will be my mobile number, so required string mobile number or mobile you can say, and the other will be password. So we have added two things which are required to my API. Okay, so after that let us call to the post method API client dot post, and the URL will be I have added inside my constant. Okay, base URL plus API client dot login endpoint, right? Or not API constant dot login endpoint. Okay, so you can see that I have to not import two different files for API client, and for the API constant there is only one import which is my core. Okay, and inside my body I have to add two things. you can paste from here also. Okay, let us copy this and replace this map with your and pass the mobile number dynamically. Mobile number and password. Okay, after this we will just return. So click on this login, click on this bulb and add return type. So we are done with the API remote source. Now we will go to repository, login repository, or you can name this as auth repository. Okay, so let us name that okay, so auth repository, create a class which is auth repository, class auth repository. After that we need that auth remote source here, so we will add auth remote source and let us create auth repository constructor, and inside which we will be adding this dot auth remote source. So let us create again a login function, and now we can get login from auth remote service login, and okay, we need two things. So again we will just copy the paste from the source. So mobile number and password. So we got two things. Let us pass here mobile number, password, and we will wait for the response. So what we will do, final response, and we will use the keyword await to await for the API call, and after the API call we will get response as a model. Okay, so what we will do, we have one model login response dot from JSON, and we will pass the response here. After doing this, return from this function. So we are done with the repository class also. Now click on the login function, quick fix, and add return type. Okay, so we have added the login response here, login mobile number, password. Only the thing is we have to create now providers for all these. So let us go to the provider. So inside my providers I will be having one login provider, login providers. Now inside this we will add all the required provider which will be needed to us. Okay, so first thing we will be need is auth remote service, auth remote service not source, equal to provider. Okay, I have added the provider, so you can see that on top the import is added. Okay, so auth remote source, and okay, so this required API client. So the client I have already created inside my core folder. I guess I have shown that you. Let me show you. So you can see here API client provider, so we will add that. Okay, so API client provider. Okay, so it is added here. We cannot add directly, we need a ref dot read, and then we can add here. Okay, now you can see error went. Now the next is auth repository, and auth repository required auth remote source, auth repository and provider. We will do same. So ref dot read, and inside which we will be passing my auth remote source. So we are done with two things. Next we will be creating the login provider. So before going to the login provider, let us create a class to handle the login states. Okay, login state. So we can have 3 state. First one is loading, success, or error. So we will create these 3 things. Final will is loading, because whenever I will click on the button, the API call will happen. So in that condition, it is the loading state. Okay, so after the API call, it can be possible that I can get the error. Okay, so error message, and the next if the API call gets success, I will get the login response, or we can name this as login response. So let us create a constructor. You can click on this button, create a constructor in the final field and required named. Okay, so it is added here. We will remove this because this is null. Okay, so it is not necessarily required. Also we will make this as null because in the initial we will be having response as null. Okay, and by default we will keep is loading as false, so there is no required keyword, there is no need of required keyword. Okay, so let us delete this unuseful imports. So we have created the 3 different states, is loading, error message, and the response. Okay, after creating the login state, we will create one login notifier class. So class login notifier, which will handle my different states, and it will get extend to state provider. Okay, after doing extend, I am getting an error. Let us see. Type different class or remove the extend clause. Okay, so we are doing something wrong. State not okay. This is not state provider. This is state notifier, and which will take login state. Okay, still I am facing an issue. Let us see. Click on the ball, create a constructor called super. Okay, we have added, but we will super implemently we will pass our login state. So let us super implement and pass the login state here. Login state. So we are done with this. After this, remove this super.state. Okay, now we will have to write the API call. So let us create one login function. Again, it will take 2 things. The first is mobile and the other is password. Okay, now we have to call the login function from the repository. If I go to the repo, okay, what is this? This one is wrong. Name this as auth repository, and after that pass there. Okay, so if I go to the auth repository, I have this login function, so I need the object of auth repository. Okay, so what we will do, we will go to the login provider, and inside my notifier I will create auth repository. And inside my constructor I will add that repository. So we are done with that. Now here I can do try catch block, and I can call final response is equal to await and add the sync here. Okay, await repository dot login. So pass mobile number and password inside it. After getting, okay, now also we have to add a few things like state. State is equal to login state, and inside my login state we will do is loading as true, so that when it start it should start from the loading, and after the API call or when we get the error, we will mark as false. and here we will also get the response now. So let us pass the response. So we are done. Also in the catch block we will get an error. So we have one variable for error message. So what we will do, e dot to string. So we are done with the API call. Again click on this bulb and add the return type. So we are done with almost everything. Only the thing is we have to create one more provider, which will be my login provider. So final login provider. Now my login provider is doing extend to state notifier. So this will be my state notifier provider. Okay. So here we will be passing two things. Okay, let me show you first. So if I go to the state notifier, it requires two objects. First one is the object and second is the dynamic themes. Okay, so let us add here. First will be my login notifier and second will be my login state. So we are done with this. After this we will write here login notifier, and notifier required one object. Means it required repository, so we have created already repository. Okay, so let us name the here ref. After this ref dot read, and inside this we will pass my auth repository. So we are almost done with the login notifier too. Okay, let's do one thing. We will stop the application and we will start running it. So now only the thing is pending. We have to call the notifier inside my login screen. Okay, could not failed binary. Okay, login screen context package login slash. Okay, go to the login route. So this is not the exact route. Okay, this is not the exact route. It is inside my screens. So login slash presentation slash screen slash login screen. Okay, now again let us run. Okay, so successfully the application got run. Okay, let us move this route inside my core folder. Okay, so after moving this we are not getting an error. Okay, so one last thing is pending, which is doing that API call inside my screen. So let's go to screen and change the stateful visit to consumer stateful visit and import flutter imports flutter Riverpod. After that we have to change the state to consumer state. So let us copy from here consumer and paste before the state and do same here. Okay, why we have did, because we required the ref, that's why. Okay, we are getting one more issue inside my module dot route. Okay, so let us see. Okay, here, so login slash presentation slash screen slash login screen. Okay, we need route. Okay, sorry. Inside my core slash start, right? Yes, and here. Okay, so let us do hot restart. Let's go to the login screen. Okay, so on the login screen we have the text field, which is one is the mobile number, other is password, and here we have added the controller so that we can get the value of text field. Okay, let's go to the login button. So on click on the login button, we are checking for validation, and after we are setting the username in the app state. Okay, and on the next we are navigating to the dashboard screen. So here we will do one thing. Now we will handle this using the Riverpod. Okay, so let's see that. Let us comment this and do one thing. Ref dot read, and we have to call the we have already created the login provider, right? So here I will call that login provider dot notifier dot login, and inside which we require two things. So we have already created the controller on top, so from controller we will take that. So controller dot text, we will get the text field value, and same goes for password. Okay, so we are done with the calling the function, but we have not handled in which case what will happen, right? So here, if I get the response, also I want to navigate to the dashboard screen if API gets success. So what we will do, we will create one listener which will listen to the state. So the first, it required two things. The first is login provider, and second is the listener which will listen. So listener required two params. First is previous and second is next. If you want to see how, you can just hover the mouse and you can see here it requires two state, the previous state and the next state. Okay, and this is my listener, and first one is provider. So I have first provider here and second is the listener. Okay, so if next dot means after getting the after hitting, what will happen next? Okay, if I get the response which is not equal to null. Okay, if it is not equal to null, then we can directly navigate to the dashboard screen. There is not an issue, right? And if next dot error message is not equal to null, error message not null means I got some error. So for now we will display inside my snack bar. Okay, so for that we need scaffold manager, scaffold. So scaffold messenger dot off, and of required context, then show snack bar dot show snack bar. Inside the snack bar we will pass our snack bar and it requires content. So this is the visit, because the type of content it is visit, so we have passed one visit, and here we will pass that error. So let us take that error from the exception error message. This we can do. Okay, so we are almost done with the listener, because there can be two cases, one if the success and the other is error. Loading state we will handle on the button only, then click. So the text will change to the circular progress indicator. Also the build method will call again and again, it will listen. So what we will do, if previous is equal to next, both are same, so we will not do anything, we will just return. And now handle the loading state. We will create one provider, name that state, and ref dot watch. Now why watch? Because we will check every time if the state is getting changes. Okay, login provider, and go down. So this is my text. So what I will do, if state dot is loading, so we will add here circular progress indicator, else the text will get visible. Also we have to avoid on click. So state dot if is loading state, so I will do null. So let us see, do hot restart again. So let us see the credential here. I have the number and the password. After that, go to mobile number and enter here. Okay, and here S123. After click on the login, I can see the login circular progress indicator on the button, and if API gets success, it will navigate to the next screen. So let us wait. Okay, so you can see the API got success and we are successfully navigated to the dashboard screen. So that's it for this video. We have successfully implemented Riverpod state management with a login API inside Micro-Frontend Flutter architecture, while keeping everything modular, scalable, and production ready. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel for more Flutter architecture content. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.